everybody can see or hear me. I think this is going to come up in the chat. This is pretty much in Be Live and on YouTube actually, but I'm streaming it in the YouTube or the Be Live format. So I just want to say hello. I'm going to look at the chats later. I'm going to say hello, and that goes up in my host chat. Now, usually I can do lots of fancy stuff with the Be Live, but today I'm going to just go through. I did prepare a slideshow, so I hope it's not boring, but I have to contain myself because for those of you who have been with me, there's going to be a lot of different types of people on this webinar or seeing the webinar. So I'm going to kind of start from scratch, but for those of you who've been with me in my energetics programs, realize there's a whole more ton that we haven't done. So I'll start to tell some folks where I started off with all this and why nutritional energetics exists. And then go into the slideshow, and I kind of have to go into the slide screen, so it'll probably just be that for a little bit. Or I might do them like half and half so that I can see, or you'll see half and half. I'm not sure how that's going to show up actually. But anyway, for those of you, I mean, if you're here, you know my name is Cathy Hohmeyer. Most of you know that I own, with my family, the Lake Claire Lodge and Retreat. We're in the Adirondack Mountains of New York State. I have 3 different Facebook pages that you're welcome to join. I'm going to say that up front in case somebody has to go. This will run about an hour, 7 to 7:45. Just to tell you what I'm up to in different levels of what I do. And then around 8 o'clock, well, might go till 8, and then about 8:15, we're switching over to the Zoom link so everybody can come in and say hello. But if I get chatting, I'll get chatting and won't get through what I want to tell you about my program. So I'm stepping out here and going, I haven't done this in a long, long time. 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I created this program pretty much 90% in the energetics realm because I was a featured speaker on some of those healing summits that you see. And for those of you who know me from the Lake Claire Lodge, you see me cooking in the kitchen and serving and saying hello when you come to stay. And by the way, I hope you got to see our videos. My daughter and the front side and my sons made tour videos of the Lake Claire Lodge. We really wanted this to be a an on-site retreat, and there's just so much around I would love to show you. But so I hope you got a chance to see the videos. It shows our property on the outside and the lodge on the inside and some of the inside of the lodgings. 25 acres, limited lodgings, private beach, private trails. And some of you also know that we have a live webcam. I'm going to try and type this in. Actually, I better not try and fool with that right now. Usually I'm really good at doing all these little things and putting things across the screen, but I'm going to just not do that tonight and just go ahead with the video. LakeClaireLodge.com/webcam. Beautiful webcam over our lake. Shoots onto St. Regis Mountain, has beautiful sunsets, and it said that there's an energetic portal over there, and it's really awesome. I mean, it's really crazy down there. So if you want to see a sunset or something over the lake, if you're in a home in the city right now, then go ahead and log on to our webcam. It's live. I know some of my friends even look at it at night, and kind of see crazy things sometimes. But anyway, you can even see the moon sometimes when it's out. It's really wonderful. So as you know, Cathy Hohmeyer, I'm also an occupational therapist. Now, it doesn't really have anything to do with jobs per se. If some of you don't know the word OT, occupational therapist, kind of like physical therapist, only we used to joke that physical therapy got the legs and OT's got the arms. Also in perception and sensory integration, which I found like super fascinating. So that's why I kind of started going from, because everything is energy, right? Everything is frequency. That's where we're starting from when we get to the slides. And I started going down the rabbit hole of energy and frequency and food and just having a lot of fun with it. So I created a program called Nutritional ENergetics. Now, some of you may just want to stay on the food end, and that's really cool because I love doing that. Some of you may want to take it into the energetic realm. And I'll go through the levels of what I do in this webinar. And again, any particular slide that I have, you can stay right there because there's hundreds of things in there that I go into my program. So when I ran my program, like I said, almost 3 years ago online, I think I had 350 folks go through my program. We did some food. We included our cookbook. Actually, I don't have a copy of it right here, but we actually have a cookbook. You can actually purchase that digitally or a hard copy of our cookbook, which really kind of introduces the type of food that I do, the traditional foods and the preparations. And again, we'll go through that in just a sec. So I've been a resort owner, an occupational therapist. I've gone into the energy field realm, which is totally fascinating. Didn't teach any of that science in OT, that's for sure. I did learn about nerves and muscles and how muscles move and how the body moves, which led me to also, before I forget to mention it, and I'll put in the discussions and follow-up, is a program called block therapy, which actually releases your fascia and just lets you feel open and pain-free and helps break up the tightness. Sometimes when we think, oh, I have my joint hurts or something like that, it's really not your joint, it's your fascia around it. We open that up and let the nutrients into it. So that's really another part of the nutritional energetics that I'll be certified soon. And we can do classes of that. It's absolutely incredibly crazy. So let me go ahead and start on the slideshow. Please, write down questions you have or send me questions. We are going to switch to a Zoom room after this. And so I can see everybody. If you want to come on, we can say hello. Have a glass of wine, cup of tea, whatever you'd like, and ask questions and just hang out if you want to. So we're going to do that after this. And I'll go through the slides again. It's kind of a review of what I've done in a program 3 years ago, and have kind of done it again and again. And now's the time to bring it back out. And so this is the intro to it. Kind of a pilot program again. I'm adding much more stuff. Again, for those of you who know me from my energetics program, I have a lot more stuff in there. And I finally found my key to cooking for light workers. If you want to say light workers, energists, quantum practitioners, whatever you want to say, I found that piece. So I think it's really weird. And I look kind of cockeyed here. I'm trying to straighten myself up between the slides. I guess I sit crossways all the time and move a lot. Sorry, I move a lot. I talk with my hands because the other thing that I do in the energy world, it's called light wave. We'll get to that, but it's running energy through your hands. It's really crazy, wonderful stuff. And anyway, so the thing that Nutritional Energetics does is we will have cooking classes online. I do energy sessions online, both in group and one-to-one sessions. And I'll be bringing on a couple of guest speakers during the program after this, if you sign up, to introduce you to the energy field, to introduce you to how to release motions in an energetic way, which is really, really cool. So let me go ahead and start the slides and get moving on those. I think I can bring it up this way. I was trying to get it bigger, as big as I could, but then I let me switch views here, but then that is going to totally kind of cut out the slide. So I have to go the side-by-side view here. Like I said, I wish I could switch that around, but I don't think I can at the moment. So we're just going to go with those slides there. And okay. So nourishing our multidimensional body, because we are energy, we are frequency, we are physical matter, we have a brain, and we have a spirit. And yeah, that's in a nutshell, right? So this is really about empowerment for self-health. It's really not about diet or food anymore. If you guys know, hey, no matter what I eat, there's different information, or even if your eating habits have totally changed, and not because you've been told to, eat one thing or another, it's really not about diet or food anymore. And you say, well, it's not about food anymore, but you're a chef and you cook and you teach cooking classes. Yes, I do, but it's those kind of the old ways of looking at food. We are going back to, right? This day and age, we're getting more aware of what really does nutrition mean, what really is healthy for us, what about the food we buy, the food we grow, the animals that are kept. All that has totally changed. We have to look at all that, and everybody is finding an inkling of that now. If they didn't have time or were in another realm that it just wasn't on their high to-do list, that's getting kind of brought forward. So the other thing that I like is bringing these processes into your daily life. I'm active. Meditation is wonderful. I try, but I just love moving. So I found active meditations. What brings your body back to center when you move or when you breathe a certain way? And that's going to be some really cool stuff I'm going to bring in. As you're going through your busy day, and it's probably not going to get any saner around here anytime soon. What is going to bring you back to center? What is going to say, okay, I can get through this. I feel balanced, because you know the feeling when you're totally out of whack and when you're in line, and that literally is in line with the earth and the cosmos. So how do you get back to that almost minute to minute right now? It's the food you eat. It's what you think. It's what you bring into your life. And there are really processes that you can do: a quick breath, a quick reset, a quick drink of a certain either energized, I have actually a probiotic grape juice right now that I made, that we do in the cooking classes in the traditional food methods. Or you can do something like water, which is totally frequency, totally vortex, and we'll get to that in a second too. Disclaimer: none of this information attempts or suggests to treat or prescribe any kind of product or anything for any kind of disease or health condition. This is totally for informational purposes. It is about balancing your energy. And if I say anything that kind of relates a different way, it's all about balancing your energy and energetics only. Really, the new chef is going to be the energetic chef. What are you serving? What are you creating, whether it's home or whether you're out, that is going to be actually good for you? That's going to keep your immunity. I hate to bring any of that into tonight's talk, but it is all about immunity. It's about staying strong in yourself, no matter what it is, right? So that's what it's all about. So I want you guys to learn to be your own energetic chef, not only for you, but for your family or friends. It's all about sifting about the information on why people are different and why people react differently to diets. Why does one diet work for one person, another diet work for another, and some just don't jive at all? Why is that? Well, I can tell you about that. It's about learning your ancient biocodes and how we respond. Why do people react differently to foods? Why do some people have an allergy? Why do you develop an allergy late in life? And how do people get rid of them? Because you can get rid of them. It's related to a lot of things, and we're going to go into that too. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. And why do some people react differently to symptoms of pain, or the same disease relates to symptoms differently in different people? We're going to learn about that in the biocodes. That's all I'm going to say about that, but it is truly able to do that. You can actually even learn to read your body in terms of kinesiology. I didn't put that in any of these slides, but you can learn to read your body with kinesiology and say, learn yes, no answers. And it's not woo-woo. It can involve the pendulum. It can involve just fingers. It can involve like muscle testing. It is about, but when you do that with nature, when you do kinesiology in conjunction with nature, then that is your body telling your body what you need. And there's a way to do that. It's really cool stuff. So just an example of some of the things within the program before I get on to the levels. Everything's made of energy. Everything is made of frequency. And there's about 2.1 million frequencies that make up the body. How crazy and complicated is that, right? No wonder things go wrong. And I have, later on, I have some slides with some numbers, and I'll talk more about that too, but kind of simplicity. Like I said, vortex water. Now, I have a very cool vortexer that brings life back to water. That's really what it's about, is bringing life back to your food, life force into your body for your life force. And that's what it's all about. It's all about your energy income. How do you improve that? Whether it's food or other frequency. Energy strength. How do you make your body stronger by what you bring in or what's around you in frequency? And energy flow. All about flow as well. So we get into a little bit of Chinese medicine with meridians. Chakras and meridians are not so woo anymore, and it's really awesome stuff to look at. I've got a few interviews with Peter Shank, who even has created some software, and he's not the only one. Created some software where you energize your water with a certain frequency. And it's really cool stuff. I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, Nutritional ENergetics YouTube. There's a lot of instant activations. I used to run a show on the Akashic Academy for over a year, where almost every week I do a show of activations and real energy woo-woo. If you want to see what that's all about, there's some activations there. And I'd suggest the liver one right now because everybody's angry. The emotion angry kind of hangs out in the liver, and that's one that I would recommend looking at. And kind of learning to run energy in your body, learning to keep the flow, whether it is your own intention, whether you're connecting to the earth and the cosmos, whether you're running energy through your energy meridians, whether we're balancing our chakras on a very easy way. And again, I'm all about when you're running to work, when you're in your car, this is practical stuff. It's not, wait a minute, I gotta take the time to meditate. Now, again, that is awesome when you can. But my part of this whole piece is how do you run through life and just stop for a split second and get balanced again? And when you know some of these tools, you can do it. We go into colors of food, colors of chakras, colors of body organs. Again, that's another level that I'll tell you about in just a moment. And again, have it up and down. Everything is made of energy. Everything is made of frequency. And our body is pretty darn complicated. Now, I'm showing us a picture of a crop circle. Why? Because it shows this awesome levels of energy. I found a book, I think it's in some of the slides here, called Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. And I read it one year, and I read it the next, and I read it the next. And I started relating it to the food and energy that I go through on a daily basis. But the easiest way to show you is with this diagram of a crop circle. Now, these are energetic levels. At the top, it starts with 8D. Now, there's 9 levels. And I'm going to call them dimensions. And I know dimensions are totally described different ways for different people or wherever you've been learning about the dimensions. I'm going to describe 9 in terms of the way I look at it, of the 9 levels of energy, the 9 levels of energetics for health. This is my definition taken from the 9 levels by Barbara Hand-Clough. Lots more in there. I totally recommend that book. So in the diagram at the top, it says 8D. Well, 9 is kind of the totality where energy comes from. It comes down into 8D and 7D, which is light and sound. I'm just going to go through this quick because this is what I'm going to kind of explain as we go through. The light, cosmos, whatever, the energy comes down through light and sound. It creates, in the 6th dimension, geometric forms. And that kind of is a blueprint as well of how it comes down through the heart center. So through 5D and 4D, which 4D is where we kind of split in polarity and duality of right, wrong, black, white balance for the earth. And then you come down into 3D, which is our physical level. 2D, which we're all about. And again, I'm going to go through these slides in a number of different ways. And then 2D is more about, depending on what you're talking about, if you're talking about the body, it's the microbiome. And then 1D is really the center of the earth that starts to spin, that starts bringing these energies down, and you meet at 3D and create matter. So these are the levels that we can go to in energetics. Let me see what I have here. Every level has a different science to it. So 8D science is different from 7D science, different from 3D science. And this is where we generally are living, right? In 3D, anybody who's into energy work and all that sort of thing, we're getting at a higher energetic level. So we have to also eat for a higher energetic level. If you've seen graphs of the Schumann resonance lately, the Schumann resonance is what the earth resonates at. Usually, and I won't get into particulars, just to say it's usually like 7.65. It has gone into the 20s and wackier, and it hasn't done that like in eons of time. So we are dealing, you can feel it. Everybody feels like, oh, why am I feel so weird today? Or why do I feel so whacked out? Aside from what's going on kind of in the 3D world, you kind of feel those energies, and the cosmos is really getting bombarded with a lot of different energies. Very simply. So we need to learn to nourish ourselves to keep, the 3D, 4D level together, and knowing the science of the other levels so we can use them to keep ourselves together. So Barbara Hand-Clow, Alchemy of Nine Dimensions. This is how the 9 relates to the Earth. And again, I'm just going to go through these really, really quickly. Earth is the iron core crystal center. The second dimension would be between the middle of the Earth and out to the surface, which are the rocks, crystals, and minerals. On Earth's surface, we have linear time and space and matter. The fourth is really the light in the dark, the collective mind of humans, the emotions, the realm of kind of polarization. 5 is more of, and these are more general terms in terms of Earth and generality, unconditional love, geometry of the heart, we're going to go into that, geometric fields and world of form, and then sound and light, and then up to the black hole again. So the empowerment of the 90 of the body is, and I'm going to, again, I have slides on each one of them to go through. There's programs on every one of these dimensions. So the whole program that I'm doing is about the intro and using just a few of these from each of these dimensions. And then if you find that you are really interested in one or the other, then there's kind of a specialty class within that. A lot of people love the baseline frequencies. We're going to go into that again in a sec, right? Microbiome. We're microbes. We're fighting microbes right now, and we're sanitizing everything. But we can't eliminate that balance. We're waging a war on the microbiome right now, and there's a little bit more to the story that we need to know, because our body is microbiome. In level 3 of kind of my program, we do cooking classes. We talk about food. We talk about different preparations, and then also the block therapy that I mentioned. In level 4, we do different emotion code levels, and how we're starting to think about our world and how that's affecting our physical body. 5 is the heart. 6, again, sacred geometry. 7 and 8, light and sound. I'm going to go into these all more. I just wanted to show the difference between, there's 9 levels to almost anything. Okay, level 1 is your body blueprint. Now, I think this is fascinating. I was an occupational therapist. Like I said, I've seen nerves and muscles and all sorts of things in the body. But there's an energetic blueprint, again, like that crop circle energy tube that creates your physical body. So we're working off a blueprint. You have to have a blueprint. If you're an architect, you have to have a blueprint on paper before that building comes alive in 3D. And that's what our 1D to me is. We're setting the nourished table. So if we're talking about food, we're setting a nourished table. How do we do that? We talk about the importance of the type of food and meal preparation. Again, to me, it's not about diet. If you want to eat vegan, if you want to eat vegetarian, if you want to eat omnivore, and any of those variations in between, it doesn't matter to me. It's taking the food you eat and preparing it a particular way. There is, if any of you, some of you that know me know that I am really adamant about learning the traditional food preparations that give us digestibility, including wheat, that give us enzymes, that give us minerals, all that we're kind of missing right now, and just kind of throwing our food into processed food because we want it fast and furious. And right now we're finding a little bit more time, some of us, to create that food for ourselves. The blood, by the way, resonates with the Schumann resonance of the earth. We go into that a lot, and also aligning our body to the fields of the earth, magnetic and polar and all sorts of things. So that's kind of 1D. Again, people seem to resonate with, and it's all about resonance, resonate with numbers. Now, this is, I have interviewed, and again, I have it on Blog Talk Radio. If you look at Mindful Living in the Adirondack Alps, there is Blog Talk Radio. There are audio interviews that I've done. I've done interviews with the gentleman who's created these numbers, Lloyd Meir. He's a wonderful gentleman. He was a geologist, I believe, and came about that, wait a minute, life is really made of numbers. So I have a whole book, again, not right around me, of numbers upon numbers of numbers in anything from cranberries to the life functional frequency to a very important one right now, which is selenium, which is said to be needed right now to keep our body healthy and strong. And there's a way to infuse these energetic numbers into our body field. We know, whether we've really gone with it or not, we know there's more to us than just our skin. Our skin houses our spirit, but there's a lot more energetics to us on the outside, and we work with these numbers. I work with these numbers with food because like I said, we have a number for cranberries. There's a number for, I imagine there's a number for peanut butter, numbers for fruits and vegetables and things, number for vitamin C. You can infuse that into your energetic field, and it's a whole lot of fun. You can put the numbers on your glass of water. You can say them. We learn how to do all those infusions, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you just feel empowered. A lot of it is the intent that you're doing. They are frequency numbers, and it's just so fun to know that you're doing something good about the food you eat. The second dimension, as I call it now, humans are we are microbiome. So in the kind of our second level, we learn about herbs and nutrients and superfoods and all that sort of thing that make up a good food. On the food end, the wisdom of probiotics in your microbiome, which is your gut brain, which finally over the last few years we've learned about is very important. Now again, I actually have a blueberry grape soda. There's blueberries in this. And with what they call water kefir grains. We'll learn about those and how to make natural sodas, like super simple. I just dump my grape juice in here. I've got some blueberries just because I had some and because they're awesome. And I get a fizzy soda. It's really awesome. We learn about those simple things that we need to remember to do those. And foods like digestible bread. A lot of us are gluten-free. Why are we that? Well, a number of reasons. One is because we don't prepare wheat and bread the way that we should to make it digestible. And some of you have gone through my little program with that. On an energetic level, once you learn energy medicine, there's also a microbiome balance energetically. I think that's a missing link in the energy field. Something that I go through with in advanced classes in energy medicine. Cooking, so the 3D cooking traditional food preparations, the Weston Price Foundation, just really quick, because I can say this 10 times in my sleep without glitching. Weston Price is a dentist who wanted to know about healthy food. He saw healthy populations, wanted to know why they were healthy, came out with 10 common denominators, actually 11, that he felt made people healthy, and it was in the preparation of their food. Again, I don't care what you eat, but whatever it is, make it so that it is more digestible, has more enzymes, is nutrient dense. And even now when we're looking at food supply and food in our home, how do you make the most of your food dollar, which is another class all in itself, making the most of your food dollar with the food that you have. Cooking for light workers, we just use high vibe recipes. Now I cook with essential oils, which I really, really love. Have been doing this for a long time. That's part of my regular cooking class anyway, not part of what Weston Price in particular had found that I know of. But it's at a higher level as our energies and energy of the planet get, let's just say, more intense. They get lighter, but they get more intense. We need to know how to make our food lighter, how to make the frequency and vibe lighter to cook for our particular energy body. And we'll just say it that simply. And I just love this because actually Einstein was here at the Lake Clear Lodge. A historian, local historian, sent us a picture of him on our beach. And I love this meme. It's, you are living, you occupy space, you have mass, you matter. When you join my community, all of you are awesome. I am so thankful for the community that I have. I have a couple of private Facebook groups. One is the Culinary Naturopathy, which we go into food and sometimes a little bit of energetics, and then the Nutritional ENergetics support group that is all about energetics, and we can go pretty deep out there. But I just love this. When you join the community, I guarantee you everybody is supportive, and I have met and know the most wonderful people in these programs, and I'm very, very thankful. They're all over the world, and I just love having them in my group and sharing some knowledge, because I always learn too. The fourth dimension is about the conflict, the polarity, and the duality in daily life. Even the conflict of how do I cook all this food? That's a conflict, that's an issue. So that's kind of in the fourth one. So how do we do that? And along with just preparing it, how do we find a system to make it? As we get into 4D, we get kind of more out of the 3D dimension, out of like physicality, go into emotions and belief work. And again, identifying our ancient biocodes, the emotions that have, I love ping, that's my very technical word for you get pinged with an unexpected happening, and that shoots off a whole waterworks in your body that may relate to certain organs and start certain things and symptoms happening. So I'm just say it that way as well. I'm going to have a couple of guest speakers coming up. Stacy Nye does the Fix code. Fix is named for the gentleman who created this system, Daniel Fleury, intuitive and extraction. So it's taking those emotions and how can we easily, literally pluck them out of our field so we just feel so much better. I went into this extremely skeptical because I've done a lot of quantum energy work, and I went, okay, here's another one. And I'm telling you, it's kind of crazy. It's fun. It can be very intense, but it is very simple and wonderful. So I hope you get to try it. Stacy does free sessions, and we can hook you up with that. Stacy's going to be talking. And actually on my Facebook group, she's on my culinary Facebook, or I can even shoot it up to a YouTube as well if you want to hear about Stacy. Local Lisa Warner is going to join us as well. So if you need to know the simplicity of healing and basically the basics of the energy field, just a really kind of quick, Lisa's going to come in and be a guest speaker on that as well. Very excited to have her. The Simplicity of Healing is a book that she wrote, so you can take a look at that. And there's also a Fix code book, and there's also all of that online. You can take a look, but that's the type of things that we do. I'm going to have some guest speakers, so that's going to be really fun. I don't need to do all the talking. 5D. This is truly the heart of the matter, where matter doesn't matter. We're getting away from kind of 3D and into the heart space. It's bridging the gap. I encourage you to check out this book called The Cosmic Heart. The heart really is not a pump. I've, with David Wolf, when I took a all natural foods cooking course from him, he said that long ago. And then Dr. Cowan wrote a book called The Cosmic Heart, and he explains why the heart really is not a pump. You should check it out. There's so much more information out there that's totally fascinating to me anyway. I've got Recalibrating Your Multidimensional Body, and just mentioning the energetic source and storage and flow again, because I created a particular program on that where we look at our source, we look at our storage, we look at our flow on a very specialty way. The other thing that says RBQT. Now, this is something that I'm very excited to bring to you. It is balancing the frequency of the heart to stay out of fight or flight. This is one super simple thing that you're going to learn to stay in sync at any given day. And the better you get at it, the more you can do it. You can run, jump, scream, and do this at the same time. This is the frequency of the heart. This is where we have power. This is where we have, of course, love. But this is where our body blueprint can balance to take in the food to it's just amazing. And you've got to come see this, because this is worth the whole program right here. I'm working with a person called, her name is Brenda Williams. If you guys, any of you are Gaia TV fans, she's on with Regina Meredith. She tells her story, and it is totally fascinating and intense. And I encourage you to see that too. Okay. 60 is your space, where the eye needs to be fed to. So if we're in our cooking classes, we know to set a nice table, to present the food, to do all sorts of fun stuff with food. I even do cake decorating. I made a 4-foot cruise ship one time when I was working in Washington, D.C. That was really awesome. So another little specialty is just having fun with food work, and with cake decorating as well. That's a really fun side thing that I do, kind of known for my kids' cakes now, and they know something's going to be coming when it's their birthday. It's all about geometric form. So if we look back at that crop circle, we see that the light and sound comes down, creates geometric forms. Now, most of you are aware of, and I'm not going to be able to think of it now, where they put the sand on the table and they resonate it with a certain vibration and frequency, and it becomes a pattern. Well, if you haven't seen that, be sure you do, because that's all about geometric forms. It totally shows how the vibration becomes a geometric form, and the higher the vibration, the more complex the geometric form becomes. And this is something that we bring into our food, bring into our daily life, because we want the perfect geometric, highest vibrational form that we can get. If you want to check out LightQuestInternational.com, that's where we have accelerators, things like this. Hopefully you can see this here. This is the Temple of the Heart, by the way. Just happened to be here. So there are different accelerators that have geometric forms inside that have different energy to them. So I'll just say that much about that. When sound creates vibration, again, the table. In class, we're going to, now there's a lot of MP3s that people do for meditations and to feel calm, or to balance your liver, or to do one thing or another. But we also go into how music was changed. If you Google how music tones were changed, I think it was in the 1800s, something like that, they changed the frequency. Some of you may be music folks and know that it was, but to me, the frequencies of music were changed just slightly out of sync, and we're not really hearing the wonderful tones that are really healing. And some people are doing that now. There's different healing tones online. You have to look for the solfeggio tones or different things like that. So we go into that and kind of look at MP3s. I've created my own MP3s. There's tons of them online. There's tons you can buy, and they're really cool. Also recommend one that we do called the 5 organ breath cleanse. You not only kind of balance your organs, but also tone to that vibration that does too. The Om Tara Tu Tare is it's just a song that's really, really cool. If you Google it, that's great. Okay, 8D, I think, there we go. Light and frequency. Now we go into colors of food. Different colors of food are every color of food is a different nutrient. So the very simple thing with food is the more colors you have on your plate, the more nutrients you're going to have. And that's a super simple thing just to remember. If you only know that, you've gone away with something. If you didn't, the other thing I do is I work with LifeWave patches. I don't have any on me. I don't have any on right now, but they look like a little Band-Aid. Now they are filled with little light crystals that resonate with a certain frequency of light, so they can help your meridians flow through. There's some for pain, there's some for balance. My kids use the balancing ones when they're all uptight with school and tests and things like that. Those are awesome. There's different ones now called an X39, which is a stem cell patch, total other thing all its own. I've been using them for a long, long time when I need them. We do a lot of infusion. I do a thing called Light Wave, which is different from Life Wave, which infuses energy combinations of nutritionals into your energy body. Again, that's all I'll say about that. It's really cool stuff. I absolutely love it. I have some Light Wave practitioner friends, and every once in a while we'll light wave the chemtrails or whatever else is out there. And cleansing your aura and your energetic space. I don't know what I have after this, actually. I don't know what time. Oh, 7:40. Okay. So I went through kind of the dimensions and the way that I look at the different science of what I do, whether it's cooking or whether it's energetics, and I kind of interweave them all into my programs. The agenda for the actual program that I'm starting now, this is the first night that I'm starting now. Again, many of you have been in my nutritional energetics program, but probably all of you said, oh my gosh, there's way too much in that, because I just have tons of information and resources. Trying to scale that back down, give everybody just a taste of these levels that I look at, where I found the resources, why I feel what works, in my experience of working in the energetics field, as well as being a chef. And we figured I've probably served over 300,000 bowls of bone broth soup, and vegetarian too, but homemade soup to the folks who are in our dining room. So I've done a lot with food. I'm kind of sitting in my learning lab, which I got so crazy in the kitchen, it had to kind of move out into the dining room on this stage we have, because like I said, I do everything from the essential oils to working with wonderful chaga to superfoods. This is how to make your own cereal that is actually nutritious. They did a study, and where there was a box of cereal. Now, I don't really know the kind of cereal, but pretty much where I get the information, they feel this way about every commercial cereal. They did a study where they had a group of mice eat the cereal, a group of mice eat the cardboard box, and the group of mice that ate the cardboard box did better than the mice that ate the cereal. Just saying. But there's a way to make really nutritious, digestible, and nutrient-dense cereal that actually people really like. And that's what I like to teach in the cooking classes as well, is how do I take a food that I really like and make it just a little bit better. I'm not a purist. I don't always eat this way. I love my junk food, but pretty much 80 to 90% of the time, I love working with a high vibe food. It's okay to eat junk food once in a while, just not all the time, and you don't want to compromise your system with more toxins that come in that way. A lot of people, I've never, growing up, I never heard of anybody doing a cleanse. Now people are doing cleanses all the time and trying to get the toxins out of their body. It's just not a right thing that we have to do these days. But if we eat right, we have to do a lot less of cleansing out, and we'll feel better on a general basis, where we kind of attend to our energy body all the time too. A lot of people will cleanse their physical body, but not a lot of people, unless you start getting into energy work, cleanse their aura, the 18-inch aura around their body, or even take a look at the energy outside their body and how that is doing. That we are not solid, right? Whatever look you look at now at atoms and protons, that sort of thing, we're a lot of space. There's a lot of space in there, and there's energy in there. And we are made up of more of that energy than we are our physical body. We're made up of more of the microbes than we are our physical body. So we kind of look at all that in a holistic sense and just have a whole lot of fun with it. And every level we're at, I'll work with everybody at their level of coming into it. Sometimes we have really advanced classes where people have learned the same types of things from other directions. Some people are really at a starter level in terms of energetics, and we work at that level because they all blend together anyway. We always learn from each other in either direction. The muscle testing is in the agenda for the program, and I have 2 blocks of that because some people know how to muscle test. We'll work on a very different level of that. There's going to be 2 different tracks. Some people don't know how to muscle test or know a background of it, and we'll start from scratch. I always teach muscle testing from working with nature and working with your body. It's not channeling. It's not going to the higher realms. It is working with your body energy and how to read your body energy. And some people will say, will know how to do their yes, no questions, and they might go to a grocery store and say, okay, is that, which one is best? Is it this one or that one? With yes, no's, it's kind of all about the question, so you have to learn a little bit. Or is this supplement good for me today? Do I need this today? And then if you know your biocodes and where you are in the particular, kind of like biorhythms years ago, but this is your own biocode. It's not biorhythms, it's your own biocode. I call them biocodes. What if you're seeing symptoms, what biocode is running that is going to give you a certain symptom? What is the certain energetic balance of that, and where can we go to make sure that doesn't loop around? Usually if we see a symptom and it leaves forever, then we just kind of ran through the program. If we see it looping, if we have pain in our knee all the time, if we have pain in our shoulder all the time. My mom always every other day had a pain in her right shoulder. Of course, the doctor told her it was all in her head. In a way, it was a program running, but it involved something she was thinking and something that was affecting that shoulder point in particular, that muscle point. And God bless her soul, she's gone now, so I can't help. But now I kind of understand how she would say, I have pain in my shoulder every other day. Why is that? Nobody could tell her. And within the biocodes, we can, that was really another impetus for really me studying all this stuff like a crazy person. Some of you know me. I need energy. I'm working all the time. I love the place I live. I love having people here. I love cooking for people, but it's a full-time job. We homeschooled our kids, and it's just a full-time job, and I love it here. I wouldn't want to be any other place. I chose to be here. In the 80s, I was working for $40 an hour in Washington, D.C. as an occupational therapist, and I gave that up. And now I've been able to create Nutritional ENergetics and bring it to those of you who find it fascinating as I do, or want to come into a really cool community. So I think I'm going to stop here. I'm not taking questions now. If you're seeing this on the replay or on video on YouTube, you can email me at NE for Nutritional ENergetics, so NE support at protonmail.com. You can always reach us at info@lakeclearlodge.com at the resort. If you want to see our live webcam with sunsets, that is lakeclearlodge.com/webcam. Our webcam is usually always up. And let's see, again, my Facebook groups, I have Nutritional ENergetics Support Group. Now that really is goes in kind of heavy to energetics. So if you're into that, there's some questions to answer before I come into the group there. Culinary Naturopathy is a private group, but it's on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, that's why I'm streaming this on YouTube. And we'll go to a Zoom link if you want to hang out and ask questions about the program. I think many of you have seen currently, as I'm taping this, it was an Eventbrite program to sign up with. It is a pilot program again, so I'm going through the motions again and creating it all new. So it's deeply discounted. I also do have a button for if anybody is having financial problems right now, but you're truly interested in here and having financial difficulties, then there's a tab for that too. You can donate whatever you'd like. Otherwise, it's very much discounted just so we can get through this, have some fun together. And I learn just as much from you as I do teaching what I've learned. So I hope you come in and have some fun, whether it's on the cooking level or the energetics level or anything in between. I just have a ball, and I'm going to be creating a lot of programs. And also, I would love it if you could ever come to the Lake Claire Lodge and retreat. We'll be opening back up in May. And there's limited lodgings. We have takeout foods, everything here. Don't have to leave if you don't want to. And there's a lot of different programs that we have right on site, even a little spa room. I do one-to-one sessions on site as well as online. So if anybody is kind of resonates with the work that I do that so far, contact me. I do the light wave, I do the emotion code, I do the fixed code. A lot of other different kind of medical intuitive sort of processes that I really love. And information alone is sometimes empowering in itself. And if you don't cook, it doesn't really matter, because the food processes, some are just without cooking. I'm not cooking this, I'm just throwing it, and nature is doing its thing. There's a lot of process like culturing. See, I had my carrots out here before. You throw the carrots in, you let nature do its thing. I also do sprouting. You throw the sprouts in, got to rinse them a lot, but you let nature do its thing. And that's how we get the highest level of enzymes, nutrients, and minerals that we really, really need, especially now and especially as we go into the future. So thank you for listening. About another 15 minutes after this, as I was taping it live, there is a Zoom link. If you don't have it, email us. And I'll try and look at my email right away. And anybody interested in asking questions, coming in on the Zoom room, you can either do, you can come in on your computer and say hello, ask questions, or just hang out. And I hope to see you soon in the Adirondack Alps, as well as online. Thanks for listening.